Pitch to the outside, runs and trying to bust through the hole and gets it. That mower down, trying to bust through, touchdown.
He's a back, this one's tipped away. Eager on the move.
Goldstein, Gilbert right in the corner, this one in front, and there it goes, Justin Goldstein.
Hello folks, welcome to the Allison pregame show. I'm Javic Blake. The Norton Lancers tonight taking on the Westwood Wolverines here in Friday afternoon soccer. The Lancers coming to the matchup with a 2-1-0 record, a win last night against Bellingham, a 2-0 victory, and clean sheet for rookie goalkeeper Derek Alexander as well, the first of his career. So the Lancers come into this game with a 2-game winning streak. They started off the season with a loss to Ashland, and since then they've come back in a big way. They've outscored opponents 4-1 in their last two contests, including a 142-minute clean sheet streak, which is extending into today's game today. For the Lancers, the player to watch has to be Edward Abuzet. The throwing ability we saw last year was very key for the kid who is now going to be a sophomore. He's already had an assist so far today. He could be the difference maker, especially on those throws from outside, which has been so key for him all season long. Now looking over to the Westwood Wolverines, they sit second place in the TVL Large with 6 points as well, also sitting at a record at 2-1-0, and they also won last night as well, but a big thrumping of the Norwood Mustangs in Norwood, a 4-0 victory to drop the Mustangs to 3-0 on the season. Today, don't expect anything else but a 1-4-5 formation. That'll be one striker up top, 4 midfielders, 5 in the back. And they've also haven't lost a game away from home this season. They're 2-0, and they're looking to continue that hot streak and a hot start to the season tonight as well. And the only loss came at home this year. The player to watch for the Westwood Wolverines, Michael Dietz, 3 goals this season, regarded as one of the best players on this squad, and tonight can really be a difference maker, and a matchup to watch. It would be him on that front end, as well as Micah Bucavales, the captain of this Westwood Wolverines squad, who also has 3 goals on the season, contributing to 9 goals so far in only 3 games for this team compared to the Lancers, who have only scored 5 so far this season. So the Lancers coming up next. We'll see if they can take on the Westwood Wolverines. The last time they played each other, it was quite an exciting matchup. The Lancers went up 5-0 in the 65th minute, and in the last 15 minutes, the Westwood Wolverines came storming back to only make it a 5-3 match at the final whistle in the 80th minute. And it'll be rookie goaltender in net once again, Derek Alexander. Expect to see Captain Brian Sullivan and Kyle Houlihan out there for the Lancers as well. So I'm Javic Blake. This has been the Allison pregame report. Coming up next is the Norton Lancers and Westwood Wolverines right here on Friday Afternoon Soccer. Hello, folks. Welcome into our broadcast. I'm Javic Blake. Welcome to Robert Adams Field on a beautiful Friday afternoon, 74 degrees and cloudy. Temperatures looking to drop to about 72 by the end of this one. A beautiful afternoon for soccer as the Westwood Wolverines go up against the Norton Lancers. Westwood Wolverines in the white kits, green shorts, and white socks. They'll be going right to left on your screen. The Norton Lancers in the all-purple jerseys, purple socks, and purple shorts will be going left to right. Lancers starting keeper in net tonight will be Derek Alexander, 2-1-0 on the season. 15 of 20 shots have been saved, very good for a .750 save percentage. He's allowed 5 goals and has 1 clean sheet so far and is currently riding, as we said in the intro, a 142-minute shutout streak. Danny Ventura on the other side will start in net for the Westwood Wolverines, head coached by John Grant, who's 30, 20, and 10 since 2015. And Ventura and the Westwood Wolverines this season 2-1-0 and have allowed 5 goals in just 3 games. In the circle, it'll be Dietz and number 6, Thomas Bucavales. In the center dot for the Westwood Wolverines. They'll be sporting 5 up front to start this one off. The Lancers, on the other hand, they'll be going with a 3-3-4 formation. Houlihan, William O'Brien, and Romario Harrison up top. It'll be DJ Eno, Declan Diestel, and Andrew Kabinski in the middle, and in back it'll be Brian Sullivan, Ben Pescott, Nick Chu, and Edward Abuzet. And as we said, Derek Alexander will be in the box, and we're underway here. Westwood kicks this one downfield. Joshua Morrison Dooch goes for the header. It goes out of bounds over his head, and it'll be a throw, and Edward Abuzet will take the throw here. The throw in there over the head, and they'll call a foul on Westwood. The Lancers will get an early free kick here. And it'll be Brian Sullivan, the senior captain, to take this. 4-year member of the team. He's been playing with this team for quite some time now. Was on that, if you remember, all the way back to that state championship game back in 2015. He was on the bench for that one, which the Lancers ended up winning in penalty kicks. That shot in long over towards net. That one is good. And instead they'll call offside. As number 20, Andrew Dalton, the junior midfielder, with a heck of an opportunity from inside the 6-yard box, no more than 40 seconds in, was caught offsides. Justin Lowe takes this one back out to Eno, and that one will go over the line. And it'll stay in the box for a goal kick. This one headed on in. Will O'Brien chasing after it. That one will go over the line. And Westwood will have a throw. Patrick Moylan to throw this one in. No goals, no assists on the season, but Abuzet heads this one back in. DJ Eno has an opportunity. Has room to his right, can't get a pass off. And instead the Lancers will try and get this one forward. Calling for a foul there is Westwood, and they'll get the foul. Stravos Mikolakos was calling for it, fell to the ground. Looks like he might have gotten clipped in the head by Jack O'Brien. And nonetheless, a free kick. Kevin Zhang to do it, the senior defender. This one played up forward to Justin Lowe. Morrison Dooch passes this one towards midfield. This one back over the outside, cut off by Houlihan. And the Lancers trying to get it going the other way, but it won't work. Kevin Lyons and Houlihan playing for this one. It goes over the touchline. They'll say it's a Lancer throw. They'll get this one back in quickly. A great throw, but to the wrong team. Westwood will take this one back over the midfield line. And this one back over the touchline, but they'll say it'll keep with Westwood. Fourth minute here at Robert Adams Field. The Lancers tied 0-0. They had a great opportunity. 40 seconds in, Andrew Dalton was caught offside just inside the 6-yard box in a beautiful header. That would have put the Lancers up 1-0 here early in this one. And a whistle here. And they're going to call offside. So the Lancers will be able to get this one. It's Edward Abuzet who will be able to kick this one. He's really been a big factor for the Lancers these past 2 years, or a year plus, as he came in as a freshman last season, instantly made an impact. So the Lancers will get a throw even farther down the field, and Abuzet will take it again. And this is what makes him so special. The throws from out deep are where he absolutely excels at, and we'll see what he can do here. Abuzet from about 35 out, shucks this one on and towards net. The header gets kicked around up front. Westwood able to clear it out. And they'll avoid the opportunity. But what a throw. About a 30-yard throw for Edward Abuzet. Almost had an opportunity. Had an assist just 2 games ago off of an opportunity against Ashland. Abuzet in the orange boots kicks this one over. Zhang controls this one. Tries to put a move on. And it won't work. Abuzet clears this one back towards midfield. O'Brien gives that one up. The Lancers will try and get something going again. Declan Deasto passes this one forward to Kabinski. Kabinski, smaller for a striker, but he has the opportunity here. And this one goes off of Zhang and out. And Kabinski, really a name, if you watch Norton soccer, really a name you know, as both his sisters, Hannah and Sarah, both play for the varsity girls team and Norton as well. Abuzet here with he'll have an opportunity for a long throw, and really the first opportunity for the Lancers of the night. He'll throw this from the near side. Shucks this one on in towards net. The header in front, over the bar and out of play. And they're going to say it went off of a Westwood defender, and the Lancers will get a corner. DJ Eno will take this one, and a big set piece here. So Eno will put this on the corner. We're in the 7th minute here at Robert Adams Field, and the Lancers with quite the opportunity here. A corner and a chance to take a 1-0 lead. Eno will line this one up. Kabinski, the lone man in the 6-yard box, and not a great throw, and they're going to call a handball inside the box, and the Lancers will get a penalty kick.
here in the 6th minute, a penalty kick for the Lancers. And it looks like it'll be Derek Alexander to take the penalty kick. Inside the boxes, it was a called on Thomas Bucavalis inside the box with a handball, and it'll be a great opportunity for the Lancers. He'll take this one. The shot, wide and in the net. 1-0 Norton on a penalty kick. And they'll take a 1-0 lead. Thomas Bucavalis had maybe the worst thing you could ever have happen in soccer. Handball inside his own 6-yard box, and a goal by Alexander here in the 6th minute to take a 1-0 lead. And quite unorthodox did that. You don't usually see a goalie, a keeper, score on a penalty kick, but we did here. So Derek Alexander puts it in the back of the net here in the 6th minute, and it's 1-0 Norton as we'll resume play. At 5-3-2 is what Westwood's sporting here, and the Lancers trying to get another quick goal. Kabinski plays this one back to Sullivan. And this one will go out of play. Patrick Moylan was the one who nicked it out. Andrew Kabinski will have the throw from the far side near around midfield. Dalton tries and bring this one in, but instead it's snapped by Patrick Moylan. They'll go the other way with it. Westwood with an opportunity here. They're on a break. They're trying to get the man advantage down deep. Runs over the ball in a great play by number 20, Andrew Dalton. We saw him got caught offside back in the first minute in the 6-yard box, but now it's an opportunity. This one crossed over in front. Unfortunately for Westwood, nobody there, as it'll go all the way to the other side of things, and Kevin Lyons will recover. And Sullivan takes him down in the box, and we'll get a penalty kick. Another PK here in the 7th minute now. No more than a minute later. It'll be number 10, Michael T. Dietz. Tonight's 3 goals already on the season. We told you in the pregame show he's the player to watch, really one of the most skillful players on this team, and he'll take the penalty kick. Alexander gets this up just out of his reach and will be tied up at 1. So what a match we've got going on here. 7 minutes in, it's tied 1-1. The 4th goal of the season for tonight's, leading the team now in the category. It'll be TJ Eno to kick this one out. And in penalty kicks, it's really a guessing game, and that one was just wide of the reach of Derek Alexander. So we're tied 1-1. Scores are leveled here 7 minutes in the first half, as that one will go over the line. And a throw in for Justin Lowe in Westwood. Zhang plays this one back over to Dietz, and he's kept in by Sullivan. Sullivan on the ground with it, and this one will go the other way. A very physical matchup so far, but just 2 unlucky breaks for both teams. Houlihan taking this one up. Eno trying to play with it. It won't work, and this one will be kept on back. And a throw for the Lancers here. Looks like it'll be Edward Abuzed to take it. And he will. He'll go over to the far side, throw this one in. The Lancers hanging 3 guys back. Houlihan, Sullivan, and Ben Pescott. This one once again from about 35 yards out. Chucks this one on forward right into a swarm of Wolverine defenders, and this one will go the other way. And Hollis and Westwood, they've got some speed. This one played up to Dietz with a blazing speed, and he'll have a run. Able to move it over. Crosses Houlihan back, and he'll play it back towards midfield. D-Still, they'll get caught on a run. The Lancers will try and move it forward. 1-1 here, 9th minute, as Eno taking this one forward. 2 penalty kicks is how we've gotten the scores are leveled. Derek Alexander with a goal off a penalty kick on a handball inside the box. And Michael Tidite's got a goal off of a PK as well just a minute later off of a Brian Sullivan infraction inside the box. Westwood will take this one here. They'll play to the outside. Michael Tidite's running after. You've said his name a whole lot. Don't be surprised if you heard a whole lot more this afternoon. The Lancers say they'll get the ball, and they will. Eno has it inside the box, looking for an opportunity. A hockey goalie-like save for Daniel Ventura, and the Lancers' first shot on net. And first shot of the night is taken easily by Daniel Ventura. Morrison Dooch plays this one over. He'll take it forward now, has a run inside the box, is able to convert the shot. Far and away, missing the goal mouth. They'll play it back over towards the middle. Abuzed trying to clear this one out, doesn't work. This one sent harmlessly towards net. Now Alexander will pick this one up as well. And this one inside the box. The Lancers trying to get an opportunity. Goes off of Kevin Zhang, and it'll be a Lancer corner. Edward Abuzed's taken off for Nick Chu. And the Lancers, second corner of the night. So far, they're 0 for 1 in converting it. Eno taking his second one. Flies this one in on towards net. In front, what a save from Daniel Ventura. Declan Diestel had one heck of an opportunity right inside the box, but Daniel Ventura turned it away at the last second. So Ventura's huge save, keeping this knotted here at 1 and a level score. As Michael Moylan will take this one up for Westwood. They'll play this one over to Lowe. Passes midfield and into the Westwood half of the field as they'll start to attack. It's taken away by O'Brien, and they'll move it up. Eno trying to get it, won't work, and kept in by Kabinski on a great play on the far side. As Brian Sullivan taking it away, the captain playing it up to Declan Diestel. He'll play it downfield. Sullivan running after this one, trying to get it before it goes out. But instead goes off him and over the touchline, and they're going to say it's Westwood ball. 12th minute, scores knotted at 1. Ventura with maybe the save of the night so far. Saving a heck of a shot from Declan Diestel. Had to leap right in front of the net to get it, but he was able to make it happen as Westwood will take this one up. It's Michael Tidite playing this one downfield on the far side. Chu will play back to Alexander. He'll be able to clear this one back towards midfield. Dalton plays this one over to the outside to Will O'Brien, and it's Michael Moylan. Playing it up to Bukavalis, the captain, downfield. And over the touchline for a Lancer throw. So the Lancers shutout streak ended at 149 minutes. They started all the way back against Ashland on September 7th. The game they won 2-1 and only allowed a goal in the 26th minute. Kept it all through the second half of that game, all through the Bellingham game, and 7 minutes in today. Joshua Morrison-Dooch tries to play this one forward into his own half, but instead gets caught up by Houlihan, and that one will go out. It's low, trying to bring this one up, able to get it by one defender, but instead it's played back. Jack O'Brien plays it forward as well, but Lowe's there to steal it again. It's Andrew Kabinski. Made it through one defender, now trying to go through three, and it doesn't work as well, and Westwood will take it the other way. Morrison Dooch will get this one. Has a man running downfield. Alexander will take it at his own box. Here in the 14th minute, still tied even here, level on the scoreline at 1-1. Alexander sends this one high over midfield. Lance will move this one forward. Eno has an opportunity in the box now. Tries to get it past Zhang. It won't work. Westwood, Moylan passes this one up. They'll bring it forward. Declan D still playing this one over to Kabinski. To Dalton now. Back to Kabinski. And Dalton will have to chase this one towards midfield. Held up by a Westwood defender. Some great defense there in order to keep this one towards midfield. You have O'Brien now taking this one. Over to Disto. Has an opportunity. The shot from out deep, missing wide. And it'll be a goal kick from Daniel Ventura. So Ventura will get a goal kick here, 16th minute. Level at 1. It'll be Michael Moylan taking this one up. The Lance will try and make a move the other way. D still with a takeaway. And this one will be played back forward. Chu grabs this one over the D still. Playing it over to Houlihan. He'll grab this one. Plays it back towards the middle of the field, and it's taken away. This one sent up high in the air. Morrison Dooch heads this one forward. Played back to Eno now. Kabinski will grab this one. Started last year as a freshman. Second straight year starting on this Lancer varsity squad as it'll be Houlihan with a throw. Chu grabs this one on the far side, trying to make a move. Doesn't get it to work as this one will go out of play for a Lancer corner. Well, we'll take a Lancer corner. They'll actually call it a goal kick for Daniel Ventura. The Lancers as a whole this year, they graduated a lot, but coming back into this season, they have quite a talented midfield and a forward group. Yes, last year they graduated maybe the best defenseman, maybe the best defender to ever come out of Norton in Eben Degbor up there with Danny Pereira, who's now playing at Stonehill as well with Eben Degbor as well. Mario Harrison playing this one up. It's Harrison taking this one at midfield. This one gets taken away. So the Lancers did graduate a lot last year. They graduated a lot of big players on the back line. A lot of forward presence in Ian Pereira and Eben Degbor, who really were able to carry this team. They also graduated guys like Zach Miller and quite a few others, but they've returned a lot this year. They have a few seniors: Nick Chu, Kyle Houlihan, Brian Sullivan, Colton Hughes, Gigi and Romario Harrison, and Alec Weeman, who's quite the cast as Edward Abazet subbed in for Andrew Kabinski to have the long throw in here from just outside the box. As Abuzet launches this one in towards the 6. The one is up in front of the net. Now it's Chu with it, trying to turn it around and shoot it in front. This one's blocked, and Will O'Brien able to barely get a shot on net. Lane started with 4 shots on net this far. So we sit here in the 18th minute. Almost about halfway through the first half. The Lancers with quite a few opportunities here in the early going. But the Lancers, Coach Green had said this year in a preseason interview, head coach of the Lancers, Eric Green, he said he was very impressed with the crop of forwards and midfielders the Lancers had, and it's a striker position as well. They just have quite the talent Andrew Kabinski, Zach Arner, Declan Diestel, Kyle Houlihan, who's basically seen as the leader of this forward group, has really helped pave the way for the Lancers. They've scored 4 goals in their last 2 games after being shut out by Medway on opening night. Abuzet will have the long throw here, trying to take the Lancers, taking the lead. This one thrown on in. A little bit off target. It'll get back to him outside the box in front of the net. And another shot on target for the Lancers, and the 5th save of the night for Daniel Ventura off a deflection from Declan Diestel. It's tonight. Playing this one over to low. And they'll play it back towards the center of the pitch. Romario Harrison trying to make a move on it, instead falls to the turf. And it'll be Kyle Houlihan taking this one. Slips in the grass there. And that's been quite an issue the past few years for the Lancers. And a great header by Abuzet. DJ Eno trying to get an opportunity forward inside the box, but Ventura will slide on top of it, and a whistle blown here. And when played back to a goalie, the goalie can only kick it. He can't pick it up, and Westwood did there. So a grand opportunity for the Lancers right outside of the box here in the 20th minute. It'll be Brian Sullivan to take the free kick. Not a penalty, as this one in front and scored! And it looked like Brian Sullivan had passed it to DJ Inu, nailed it in the back of the net. Now some unpleasantries raining down on the refs here from Robert Adams Field.
You want to see the replay?
So it looked like Brian Sullivan had passed it over to DJ Eno to put in the back of the net. Refs saw it otherwise, and scores will stay level here at 1. And now a whistle and a free kick for Westwood. And a man is injured down on the field. It's Justin Lowe. And we'll get a substitution here. Andrew Kabinski will also come back in for the Lancers. So it'll be Declan Diestel coming out of this one just for a few moments here in the 21st minute. And even though DJ Eno's goal was called a no goal, what a strike from the young man. An absolute beauty of a goal, an absolute beauty of a strike. Hit it in the far post outside of the reach of goalkeeper Daniel Ventura, but called no goal on account of it wasn't passed from Brian Sullivan. This one missed high and wide, way over the bar. And Westwood will keep this one knotted at 1. So we've been saying it quite a few times here. Both teams have gotten extremely unlucky here in the early going, and we've seen it continue there. Michael Moylan with an absolute bomb of a free kick, just a bit too high. Eno trying to make something happen now after the no goal called. He'll play it downfield. Eno crosses this one out towards net. A flying header from Abuzet doesn't work. A great opportunity on the cross. Back and forth action here at Robert Adams Field as Will O'Brien passes this one back to Mario Harrison. We'll try and play it forward. Harrison, the son of former Jamaican soccer national team player. That was his dad. It's only his second year in an American high school. A former resident of the country of Jamaica. This one, a crossover, doesn't work. And his dad, back in the 90s, was a big star of the Jamaican national soccer team. Played in quite a few CONCACAF tournaments. And Harrison with a good move there. Known for his speed and playmaking ability. Dalton will take this one. Playing it forward. And it'll be O'Brien playing this one up to Houlihan. Dalton takes this one, trying to play it down the field, and it'll go out for a throw in. It'll be Abuzet to throw this one. 23rd minute, scores level here at 1. On a beautiful day for soccer here at Robert Adams Field. A packed house as well, as Abuzet will have a long throw. From outside the 18, the throw in towards the box. Headed on in front, and this one up and over the net, and Jack O'Brien can't quite get it to work. It'll be Daniel Ventura with the goal kick here. 24th minute, scores level at 1, thanks in part to 2 penalty kick goals. Derek Alexander converted one back in the 6th minute off of a handball called inside the box. Michael Tadidas answered it just 1 moment later in the 7th on a goal scored off of PK as well, off of Brian Sullivan foul inside the 18 as well. And another foul called here. This one will be on, it looks like number 11, Shane O'Grady. My apologies. Actually, Michael Moylan, who the foul is called on, so it'll be a Lancer free kick from about 30 yards out. And it'll be their second of the night. '25th minute. Last time the Lance had a free kick just 5 minutes ago. Gigi Ano's goal called off on account of it wasn't passed. So we'll see if they pass this one here. The ref will be watching closely. They'll move this one out. This one played and on towards net in front. The shot! This one's in. It's 2-1. Jack O'Brien with his second goal in 3 games. And the Lance will take the lead here in the 25th minute. So we now stand at 2-1 here at 25 minutes in. Will O'Brien with his second goal of the season. My apologies. Jack O'Brien with his second goal of the season. Second goal in 3 games in the Lancers. With yet another first half goal. They scored twice in the first half yesterday. They've scored twice in the first half today. 2-1 the score as Chew will throw this one in. And he'll look for Eno. He'll take it. This one played on forward. A nice meg from Bukavalis as they'll bring this forward. Houlihan trying to play this one on. And it just sneaks over the touchline for a Westwood Wolverine throw. Clayton Barrerin tosses this one in. Goes off the touchline. And they're going to call it another Westwood throw. They say it went off of Andrew Dalton before going out. And here in the 26th minute, they're actually going to call it a free kick. It's Patrick Moylan who will do the honors. Moylan plays this one on forward. Sullivan heads this one back. The Lance will try and move it forward. This one moved up inside the box, kicked out by Romario Harrison. What a play from the man. Inside the box, had a great opportunity as Michael Tadites was looking for a second goal of the game. Harrison was able to play that one out, and now a free kick. And now a corner for the Westwood Wolverines. 27 minutes in, 2-1 the score. And Westwood has quite the opportunity. 2-1 the score, the Lancers with the advantage, but Westwood looking for an equalizer. Tonight crosses this one in on towards net. The header out. And Drew Stefano will grab this one. Moylan has it. DeStefano plays this one on forward. Alexander trying to run up to it, and he'll grab it for a goal kick. So one played on forward. It'll be O'Brien playing this one up. Edward Abuzet trying to get it forward inside the box. Instead on the far side, chased out by Brian Gay. And off Edward Abuzet for a Westwood throw. 28 minutes into the 40-minute first half. And they'll say it's a Lancer throw. My apologies, folks. It is actually a Westwood throw. So they'll get the throw in 28 minutes into this one. The Lancers with a 2-1 advantage. But Westwood hunting for an equalizer here. This one goes over the touchline. There'll be a touch and go and a whistle here. Two subs coming on here. It'll be Andrew Kabinski and DJ Eno back in the fold for the Lancers. It's Edward Abuzet or Mario Harrison will be subbed out of this one for the moment. Houlihan, 1 point on the season, scored it against Ashland a week ago from today, last Friday, in a 2-1 Lancer victory, in which saw Derek Alexander stand on his head all game long with 7 saves, a net, and a clean sheet in the second half. Eno tried to play this one forward, but it didn't work, and now here comes Eamon Doherty. 1 goal on the season, but he's trying to find an equalizer. They'll push it up towards the forward 50. Thomas Bukavalis sends this one over. Eno plays it back. And now it's Kabinski. Up to Eno. We'll chase this one forward. Trying to outrun a defender. Doesn't work on that back line of Westwood, which has been very, very good today. And here comes Edward Abuzet. Another long throw, and Edward Abuzet's in the game. What else is new? The man who has seen so many throws in for the Lancers these past 2 years, and he's going to try and do it again and try to give him a 3-1 advantage as we streak towards the half here on LSN here in the 30th minute. And all sorts of whistles here. So another whistle, and we're good to go here. Abuzet, the long throw in. Chucks it on towards net. Kept up in the air by Dalton. In front, off the net and in! Off the top post and in. Jack O'Brien with his second goal of the night. Third of the season, and the Lancers take a 3-1 advantage. Jack O'Brien doing it again, and it's been the sophomore-junior show here at Robert R. Adams Field. The Lancers with now 3 goals in 30 minutes to take a 3-1 advantage. Kept in front by Will O'Brien. Nailed in by his brother Jack, and the Lancers now take a 3-1 advantage. So a huge goal by the Lancers here to put them up 3-1 in this one as we streak towards the half. Quite the opportunity so far for the Lancers. 7 shots tonight. Every single one of them has been on target. Goal scored in the 6th, 25th, and 30th minutes. And for Westwood, only scored in the 7th on that PK, but quite the first half here. Remember, folks, coming up at the half, the LSN halftime report, we'll break down the first half with all the stats, news, and highlights, and we'll get you ready for the second half as well as a look around the TVL on a busy Friday afternoon in the Tri-Valley League. Dalton will take this one forward. What looked to be what could have been a well-contested match in the beginning has turned out into very much quite the opposite. The Lancers controlling much of the action, much of the pace. And they're really thrubbing this Westwood side here early. Sullivan will play this one forward. He has an open man streaking downfield, won't get it. And this one will be back on forward. Drew DiStefano, a freshman playing on this team, the only freshman on this roster. The only underclassman on this roster as well. All juniors and seniors for this Westwood Wolverines side. 32nd minute, about 8 minutes to go plus stoppage time here at Robert Adams Field. And then we'll hit the half from Mario Harrison standing on the sideline, ready to go in. And John Grant has to make some changes, especially on the Lancers, on the Westwood set pieces, the defense against him, as they've been burnt twice by them. Even though the free kick from DJ Eno counted as a no-goal. Quite the opportunity. They've had some opportunities on the corners as well, and really anything inside the box they've gotten their foot on. The Lancers have turned into quite the opportunity. So Mario Harrison handing it back to a Westwood defender, and this one will be thrown in. Bukavalis plays this one forward instead. It'll be kept away. A race downfield now as Kapinski streaking down the far side. But it's played back to Daniel Ventura. And caught in a bad move as the shot coming up lame from DJ Eno. Connor Buckley playing this one on the far side. We'll now go to Michael tonight as a lone goal today for the Westwood Wolverines. Eno playing this over to Kabinski, who's had quite the game today. And O'Brien trying to find the hat trick in the first half. He'll barely be able to keep this one in. And this one will go the other way for Westwood. It looks like he might have gone over the touchline, but a nifty move from Andrew Kabinski. But this one will go the other way. Now it's Ryan Lewis looking for some support. He has it on the near side. The shot in front and taken by Derek Alexander, and only the second shot on net of the night for the Westwood Wolverines. Kabinski playing this one forward, has a move. Looking to play it forward, a late start on that one by Declan Diestel. He'll chase this one far and away and out, and he'll say it's a Lancer throw. So once again, here comes Edward Abuzet. He's made magic once tonight in a throw-in. Kept up in the air by Will O'Brien, nailed in the back of his net by his brother Will to give the Lancers a 3-1 advantage. So a long throw here from Abuzet here in the 35th minute, and all sorts of whistles once again. Which has been a common theme on any set piece for the Lancers from the outside, and on multiple throws as well. It's like the refs trying to get some spacing here on both teams. Here in the 35th minute. 3-1 the advantage, the Lancers leading. Abuzet throws this one, a great throw inside the 6, it's in! What a goal, and it's 4-1. Colin Hughes getting into the action, and the Lancers are laying it on the Westwood Wolverines here. Edward Abuzet with another great assist, his second of the season. We saw it against Ashland. We're seeing it again here tonight. 4-1 in an absolute insane first half from the Lancers. 4-1, an offensive explosion. It's been the theme the last two games from the Lancers against the Westwood Wolverines. They went up 5-0 against them last year on senior night, and they're up 4-0 against them here in the 35th minute in the first half. Four to 1 the advantage. An absolute romp has been put on in this first half by the Lancers. They're outshooting Westwood by a score of 9-2 with shots on target. And one of the saves for Derek Alexander, he just had to pick the ball up off the ground on a lame shot from way out. Each team with a penalty kick goal, but on the goals in regular play, that's where the Lancers are leading. The last 10 minutes, they've scored 3 separate times to put the Lancers up 3-0 in this one. And a whistle here, and a Westwood Wolverine goes down, and Coach Green has to be very happy with how this first half has played out. He's won the TVL title each of the last 2 years, in 2016 and 2017, which has really led this program back to prominence. After before then, they hadn't won a single league title since 2001. This one on net and just wide. So we tick under about 4 to go in the half here in the 37th minute. About 3 minutes plus stoppage time here. With a great crowd on hand here for a beautiful Friday afternoon here at Robert Adams Field. 4-1 the Lancers, and they've been treated to quite the offensive explosion here in the first half. 4 goals for the Lancers this half has been more than they've scored all season long in their first 3 games. They scored 2 against Asheville in the first half, 2 against Bellingham in the first half, and 4 goals today. So second half, maybe they'll look towards just trying to wrap this one up, but also score that first second half goal of the season, which has eluded them all season long. Romario. Harrison sends this one over to Sullivan. Plays it forward to Kabinski. He'll look for someone down deep, and it's Will O'Brien chasing this one down here in the 38th minute. And a corner for the Lancers. Another set piece, another opportunity, and they could even go up 5-1 here. And it'll be a throw from Abuzet. So spacing here, and Abuzet will get the throw. And the long throw, and a beauty in front of the net! This one's in! And they'll say he was caught offside. Declan Diestel put this one in, and it looks like they're going to say there was a foul on Diestel in the box. Well, so the Lancers could be up 6-1 right now, if not for a foul and a no-goal. Here in the 39th minute, Diestel will try and play this one up. Diestel is trying to get the first goal of his season. As we tick down here towards halftime with the Lancers leading 4-1. And Edward Abuzet having him just about the game of his life for throw-ins here. And what a big piece he is for the Lancers, and now a free kick, and now a corner kick for the Lancers here on the 39th minute. Kabinski subbed out. A little bit of debate over the time right now. Westwood coach John Grant saying he's at the 42nd minute mark, which means we're already 2 minutes into stoppage time. It's a little confusing, considering the scoreboard is just at the 40th minute mark now. But nonetheless, a Lancer corner kick. Romario Harrison sends this one on forward. And it'll be kicked away and a foul called. So 40th minute here, this plus stoppage time for the Lancers. We're already up 4-1 in this one after a huge first half, including goals from Colton Hughes, Jack O'Brien scoring twice, and Derek Alexander getting in on the action as well. Sullivan sends this one over to Jack O'Brien. Running out of time to try and tack on that 5th goal. As Abuzet trying to play that one forward. Goes off of Bararin, and now it's a throw. A long throw in for him, trying to get Westwood caught in a break. This one in on net and picked up easily by Daniel Ventura. So we now enter stoppage time here in the 40 minutes, plus whatever stoppage time the ref adds on here. 4-1 the Lancers score. A foul called here. Four subs looking to come on for the Westwood Wolverines at the next whistle. The ref looks at his watch. Sullivan will line up to take the free kick here as we're 30 seconds into stoppage time. Remember, folks, coming up next, Ellison at the half will break down everything in the first half as Diestel with an opportunity as this one will go out of play for a corner kick. Ellison at the half coming up next. We'll break down everything that's happened in the first half, recap the Lancer 4-goal explosion to put them up by 3 in this one, as well as a look around the TVL as well and run through some highlights to go along with it all. Harrison with the corner here in the 42nd minute here, +2 in stoppage time. Harrison sends this one on forward in front. Sullivan! World class puts the Lancers up 5-1. What a stunner from Brian Sullivan. So Brian Sullivan getting into the action as well, and it's now 5-1 Lancers. The most goals they put up in a game since Bellingham last year to end the season. Towards the end of the season, they played Bellingham, put up 10. They put up 5 in the first half here today. As we're here almost 4 minutes into stoppage time. My apologies, almost 2 minutes into stoppage time, and it's 5-1. The last 15 minutes have accounted for 4 Lancer goals. As this one will be picked up by Alexander. Here in the 43rd minute, Alexander boots this one high towards midfield, and the whistle will blow for halftime. What a first half for the Lancers. 5 goals on 11 shots on target. We'll recap it all for you coming up next, but at the half, the Norton Lancers in really good control of this one. They lead this one 5-1 over the Westwood Wolverines. Ellison at the half coming up next.
Hello, folks. Welcome into Ellison at the half. I'm Javik Blake. The Lancers with a scoring outburst in the half for 5 goals. 4 of them scored in a 15-minute span, which included 11 of their 12 shots being on target, which made it quite a nightmare for the Westwood defense. Alexander scoring a penalty kick in the 6th minute off the handball, which is something you'd never see is a keeper scoring on a PK, and they did it 6 minutes in. Jack O'Brien scored just a few minutes later in the 25th minute and the 30th minute. Colton Hughes got into the action in the 35th, and Brian Sullivan finally on a world-class stunner in the 40th minute in stoppage time to make it 5-1. On the other side of the Westwood Wolverines, it's been a tough road for them tonight. Dietz with a penalty kick goal in the 7th minute off of a foul from Brian Sullivan, but that's been all they've had tonight. Derek Alexander has been relatively untested with only 2 shots on target from Westwood, as he's out there actually currently getting some target practice, maybe trying to get the legs moving, as he hasn't had a lot of action as the Lancers have controlled momentum constantly throughout the game. And they could even be 7-1 if not for a few unlucky breaks. One free kick was called off as the Lancers didn't touch it first, and a header way back in the 1st minute was called off as well because Will O'Brien was offside. So the Lancers towards the second half, they're going to look to go 3-1 in the TVL to get that 9 points and get tied for first tonight with a win. And Westwood on the other side of things, they just got to salvage something out of it. They're already down 5-1, 40 minutes to go. 4 goals is a lot, and with the way the Lancers are playing tonight, the way they're controlling the action, Edward Abuzed, he hasn't gotten a goal yet, but on the outside, he has been an absolute force for the Norton Lancers on throw-ins. He's done a fantastic job of the long throws, getting it in towards the 6. A lot of bodies in there and trying to make something happen, and it's happened quite a few times. He already has 2 assists on the night. So Jack O'Brien has been leading the way for the Lancers here in the first half, but going towards the second half, the Lancers, they just need to keep playing what they're playing. It's already 5-1, and they'll look to wrap things up and get their 3rd TVL win of the season and try to beat Westwood for the 3rd straight time dating back to last year. Second half coming up next. I'm Javik Blake. This has been Ellison at the half. Score right now 5-1 with 40 minutes to go here at Robert Adams Field. We'll see if the Lancers can tack on some more and try and beat their record for goals, which is 10, and they're only halfway to it. So we'll see all about that coming up next. Westwood Wolverines, Norton Lancers. The Lancers leading this one 5-1 as we get ready for the second half right here on LSN. Hello, folks. Welcome back to Robert Adams Field. I'm Javik Blake. Start of the second half here. And the Lancers up in this one by a score of 5-1 as we start the second half here. They'll be going right to left in your screen. Westwood changing it up. They'll be going left. They'll be going left to right. The Lancers going right to left. As this one will go out of play, and the Lancers will have a throw here early
in the 41st minute. First half explosion, which Lancer head coach Eric Green could be nonetheless ecstatic about. We'll have to ask him when we go to our post-game report with him. 5 goals is an absolutely unheard of number for first half goals in soccer, and the Lancers did it with relative ease, manhandling this Westwood team. Green's got to be happy. 13 years coaching this team as Eno has an opportunity in front and kicks it away. So the Lancers starting off the second half just like the end of the first. Lots of opportunities for the team. Will be a goal kick here from Daniel Ventura, who has 6 saves today on 11 different shots. The Lancers have been peppering him all game long, as Houlihan will be able to throw this one in. He'll throw it back to Sullivan, and Sullivan will take this. Passes the midfield line and passes it back to Ben Pescott. Pescott will play it forward as Abu Zed tries to get it, won't get it, and instead it's Andrew Dalton. And a whistle here goes over the touchline. It'll be a Westwood throw. So Coach Green, 13 seasons here with the Lancers, and since 2015, he's been enjoying quite the successful run. 50-10-3, 51-10-3 since 2015 with the squad against Ashland just last Friday, notched his 50th win in the past 3 years. Quite the impressive feat for a man who, since 2001, he's been coaching here since 2005, did not win the TVL until 2016, but they did win in 2015 everything. They won the D3 state title on a beautiful goal that will be remembered forever in Lancer history by Ryan Blakely in the 5th round of penalty kicks to beat Douglas by a score of 2-1 in what was maybe one of the best games in Norton soccer program history. As this one played on back, the Lancers will get it back in their own zone. It's Jack O'Brien to grab this one. Trying to go for the hat trick here. Plays a man off the ball, and he'll concede up possession. Abuzet slices this one on towards net. Over to Eno in front, trying to make it 6. It's Kabinski! Denied by Ventura. We've seen Daniel Ventura make 2 great saves here tonight. So the score is still 5-1. A great opportunity for the Lancers right in front of their own net. Eno decided to pass it over, let it go to Kabinski. Had a fantastic shot that was saved by Daniel Ventura. On the Lancers' 13th shot on target of the night. But going back to that 2015 title game, it was a game that maybe will be one of the best in Norton soccer history, if not all of Norton high school history. A game that was 0-0 most of the way through. They had gone down 1-0 on penalty kicks. John Latch, now playing at Southern New Hampshire University, the only player in Norton history to score 100 career points in a whistle here and a foul called. The Lancers will get a free kick with Will O'Brien doing the honors. They had a fantastic opportunity. John Latch scored, went all the way through overtime, and ended up in penalty kicks after 100 minutes of soccer. And the Lancers ended up coming out on top 4-2 in penalty kicks. This one in front, Abuzed with the opportunity, but it doesn't work. It'll go the other way. Michael Tonight, as Houlihan plays this one over. This one a long shot from out deep. So the Lancers came back state champions. They repeated. They almost went back the last 2 years. They haven't enjoyed the same success. They've won the TVO, yes, but they have not done well in the playoffs. They lost to Martha's Vineyard on a 1-0 score and a goal late in 2016 and last year against Sandwich, who they were missing Edward Abuzed, who you could see on the pitch. They missed him a whole lot as this one's played over to Brian Gay back in the own zone. They missed him a whole lot. He wasn't available. He was out with a leg injury, and they lost to Sandwich 2-1 in a 97th-minute goal as their hearts were broken in the first round once again. So the Lancers, their mission this year, Get back to the playoffs. Win the TVL, yes, but get back to the playoffs and do some damage. This one's out of play. Over the touchline, and Will O'Brien will do the honors. Colton Hughes will come back in. Has a goal tonight. Scored back in the 35th minute. Abuze with a long throw here in the 46th minute. He'll shoot this one on towards the 6th. The great throw inside is headed away. Houlihan will grab this one from outside the 18. The shot in front blocked and swept away. Will O'Brien will get it. Looks like he's tripped up on the plane. It'll be a Lancer throw, and Edward Abuze will try to make magic happen again. Goal scored back in the 35th minute by Colton Hughes, was assisted by him as well to make it 4-1. And he'll try to come up with his second assist of the night. Throws this one long and deep on towards net. This one headed out, but the Lancers will try and retain possession. Westwood will clear it out and shouts from the bench of a handball. Looked like it might have just hit the upper arm, but nonetheless not called, and the Lancers will have play continue on. See, Alec Weeman, the Lancers senior, throwing his hands up on the bench, wondering why it wasn't a call, and that's really been how it's gone for most of the night for the Lancers. A lot of 50-50 calls have not gone their way, as Westwood will try and play this one deep in the box. As it's Michael tonight, plays it out up top. The shot kicked up straight up in the air off a few blocks. This will go out over the touchline, or almost out over the touchline, as Colton Hughes will clear this one out. The Lancers had a whole lot of opportunities in that first half, but it could have been much more. A lot of 50-50 calls not going their way. A DJ Eno free kick called a no-goal, which looks like it might have been touched by Brian Sullivan, but the ref saw otherwise when he hear the wrath of Robert Adams Field as well. Brian Gale grabbed this one. Plays it on forward. Thomas Bukavalis playing this one over to his left. Joshua Morrison-Dooch playing this towards center. Edward Abuze, an easy clear for him. DJ will run down the pitch trying to get this one. Patrick Moylan's able to get it away from safety here in the 48th minute. 5-1 the score of the Lancers. All 5 goals coming in the first half. As defensive masterpiece for the Lancers has ensued. Westwood only with 2 shots on goal, 2 shots on target tonight. Westwood plays this one on in front. Alexander. This one goes wide. Picked back up by Westwood. They'll try for a cross and an opportunity. Instead, the direct shot headed out by Sullivan. Oh, this one in front. A great opportunity. Sailed high and wide. Joshua Morrison-Dooch for the second time tonight. Sends it high and wide over the head of Derek Alexander and through the goalpost. In the 49th minute, with the game seemingly looked lost, Norton has been controlling basically everything here tonight. It was a great opportunity for Joshua Morrison-Dooch right in front of the Lancer net. But nonetheless, we stayed with the scoreline at 5-1. Jack O'Brien brings this one up. Down the field it goes. Andrew Kabinski running after it. Had a fantastic shot back just 6 minutes ago, back in the 43rd minute, as we're in the 50th minute now, so 7 minutes ago, on a great opportunity, but Daniel Ventura was able to block it away. As it'll be O'Brien playing this one back, tied up with Dalton, who kicks this one forward. And interestingly enough, the last time the Lancers played Westwood on senior night, they won 5-3. And thanks in part, mostly, to some late goals from Westwood. The Lancers were up 5-0 and it looked all set to go. And then Westwood came back with a ferocious attack in the last 10 minutes. Derek Alexander was in net for that. Allowed a few goals. But as you can see, he's definitely grown as a keeper on this Lancer defense, who has just been relentless tonight in creating opportunities on the offensive side, has done their part in helping him out. It's Will O'Brien, the older brother of sophomore Jack O'Brien, who's looking for a hat trick tonight. Has the ball, gives it up. Declan Deastel will grab it. Had a great opportunity, but another goal that was called off. Westwood will go the other way with it, and they'll have an opportunity. 2-on-3. He's looking for support. Instead, he'll take it himself, but he's let up, and he comes up a little bit lame on that right leg. And a whistle here, and they're going to say Westwood will have the throw. 52nd minute here. The Lancers still up 5-1 in this one. As we've said, 5 first-half goals, which is more than they've scored all season long in 240 minutes of action. They were shut out on opening night by a very good Medway squad who's currently leading the TVL Small with a 3-0-0 record. This one played back. Brian Sullivan will grab it and get it out. But the Lancers, this game and next, some very good tests for them. And another whistle, and this one will go to Westwood. But after this one, a very good test is coming up next. Barrington, Rhode Island, who is an absolute powerhouse in Division I, the top division of Rhode Island soccer. State champions last year, state champions the year before. They won 1-0 last year on a lone goal from Ian Pereira, but it was called after 67 minutes in the pouring rain and lightning. It was one of the Lancers' first night games this year. Of last year. First one we called here on LSM was called after 67 minutes. But Ian Pereira with that lone goal on an absolute stunner. And the team celebrated on the bench. They just won the state championship. A great moment for the program. Beating a team that was so highly touted. They just couldn't get it done late in the season. Losing the sandwich in the first round. And that's really been the storyline these past 2 years. They've done great in the regular season, yes. They've combined for 27 wins and only 12 losses. But the Lancers, what it comes down to for them is just playing in the playoffs. They haven't been able to do it. Lots of bad luck recently. Martha's Vineyard, that game, they lost late. Sandwich last year off a set piece in overtime. Not much they could do about it. This year, they're trying to change the tone of it. They have a lot of great players. Romario Harrison, as we've said multiple times throughout the broadcast, really want to look for. Didn't play too much last year to get in the action, as it was his first year at Norton High School, just getting used to the program and such. But this year, he's back on. Him and Brian Sullivan look to be really good on the back line. As this one picked up by Derek Alexander here in the 54th minute. You have Kyle Houlihan up top, who's just a fantastic player all around, really a leader of this forward group. Brian Sullivan as well. Both of them the captains of this team. You also have Declan Deastel, who really, there are a lot of players on this team. Soccer runs in their family. Andrew Kabinski, we talked about that earlier, but Declan Deastel as well, whose sister Mary was the girls' soccer captain back in 2017 as this one goes over the line, and now a goal kick for Westwood. Another senior to watch for, number 9, Nick Chu, takes on a center back this role this year with Brian Sullivan. They're both of them, Sullivan and Chu, have the big task of replacing Eben Degbor. You can't exactly replace a player like Eben Degbor, who's now currently at Stonehill University. He has a goal this season already, playing with Ian and Danny Pereira, both Norton graduates. Both were instrumental pieces to this program. Maybe none more than Danny Pereira, as this one, Weeman taken down there, and the Lancers will get a free kick. Maybe none more than Daniel Pereira, who is an instrumental piece on winning that state championship. And the Lancers coming up fast on the free kick. Harrison sends this one flying way out of play. What a boot from the kid. But they'll have the big task of replacing Degbor, who's maybe one of the best corner, maybe one of the best defenders, along with Danny Pereira in Norton Lancer history for soccer. Both of them have been great, as Alec Turcott will come into the fold here, the junior defender. But nonetheless, new season for the Lancers. Coach Green excited for the new crop of players. We'll be talking to him in the postgame show about the game tonight, which if you're Eric Green, you don't have much to complain about as a manager. He's had all the right pieces. Everything has gone right for the Lancers, and if anything could have gone better, it would have been 8-0 by now. And Norton will get a throw in here. 56 minutes into this one, 24 minutes to go. The Lancers leading 5-1. And they're doing the right thing here. They're emptying the bench, letting some players who don't get too much time out into the fold. As Houlihan lets this one go out of play. We see Colton Hughes on the sideline. Al Guiman came into the game just a few moments ago, as did Alex Turcotte. Hughes with a goal tonight, first of his season, off a fantastic assist by Edward Abuzet. Brian Sullivan followed it up just 7 minutes later off an assist from Mario Harrison on a beautiful corner inside the sixes. Derek Alexander will just jump on this one. He'll waste a few seconds here and try to kick it back out. And this one will go out of play. Nick Chu to throw this one in. Whistles all over the place. They're going to say it's Westwood's throw. '57th minute, 5-1 Norton. And Westwood will go the other way with it. They'll have a streak downfield. A nice run and trips up on the turf. This grass has taken victim to many players throughout the year, and Thomas Bukavala is just another player to fall victim to it. Between football, girls soccer, and boys soccer, the field gets quite the use, and even though we're only 2 weeks into the season, it's already showing. Alexander will get the goal kick. And Bukavalis had a fantastic run on the play. Tripped up on the wet grass due to the heavy rainstorms we've had in the area the past few days. The Lancers will bring this one up. Weeman with the opportunity. Gets it downfield, looking for a cross. Tries to get it over to Eno. Doesn't work as he's kept up in the box. Eno fighting for it. He'll get it over. The shot! Down! DJ Eno gets another goal! Eno scores his first of the night, and the Lancers are pouring it on. "58 minutes into this one, 6-1 Lancers. DJ Eno saying, yeah, I'll get that goal back. Stopped on a free kick. Called no goal back in the 20th minute. But now he gets his goal here in the 58th. Six to 1 the score now. And Daniel Ventura, hard to blame the keeper. It is easy to blame the keeper in these situations, but it's really hard to look at a keeper who has given up 6 goals when he has faced 15 shots on target tonight and has to have made save after save after save, and that's what Daniel Ventura has had to go through tonight. What looked like a great offensive production in the 4-5-1 setting has not turned out as well. The little guys in the back end for Westwood has really not helped them out at all. And it's really showing on the scoreline. 6-1 the score here. As it'll be Edward Abuzet to throw this one in. And this one, headed on in, and it's 7-1. Alex Turcotte getting his first goal of his varsity career as well. And now it's 7-1. A great opportunity for the Lancers. So Eno scoring one in the 58th. And Turcotte in the 59th. So 7-1 the score now, and the Lancers have absolutely put on a beating of this team. Seven 7-1 the score now. As Westwood will bring this one up. This one out in front, off of the fingertips of Derek Alexander, and they'll call it no goal. And a little bit of confusion here. The ref put his arms up in an X. And they will call it a goal. Patrick Moylan scoring the goal just outside the outstretched fingertips of Derek Alexander, and it's now 7-2. Maybe the highest scoring contest you'll see all year in Massachusetts high school soccer. 9 goals combined on the day. And the Lancers will get this one moving. 7-2 the score. This one will be brought up by Will O'Brien. So Patrick Moylan getting a goal here, his first of the season. In the 60th minute to make it 7-2 with time counting down here in the second half. This one played back to Sullivan. He'll look for it, bring it up, doesn't work. And now it'll go the other way. Kevin Lyons playing this one downfield. On for Jason Moy. Has it on the far side, plays it back towards the middle to Tedites. Tedites left up by Mario Harrison, and a great opportunity for the man. Able to get it back out towards midfield, and Alex Turcotte trips over the ball there, slips on the grass, and this will go back the other way. But Mario Harrison, great opportunity on the play. Michael Tedites was streaking towards net. Looked like he was trying to put a great move on Mario Harrison. And this one will be a free kick for Westwood. And Westwood brings this one up forward in front of the net. The shot! Goal! 7-3 the score now, and the comeback is on. Number 16, Kevin Lyons, getting into the action. And in the 61st minute, there has been 3 goals in the past 3 minutes, and it is now 7-3. What was once a 5-1 game is now turned into a 7-3 game. Thanks to 4 goals in a matter of 4 minutes, 2 for each side. And the score is now 7-3 here in the 61st minute. Houlihan plays this downfield. Turcotte will run after it. Westwood looking to just get some consolation goals here at the end. Down 7-1, but this could get scary for the Lancers. As it'll be Edward Abuzed for the throw here. 4 of the 6 Westwood shots have gone on net, and 3 of the 4 have been scored. Only 1 save tonight for Derek Alexander. So Abuzed will have the long throw. 62nd minute, Lancers leading by 4. And the ref running back over for this one, waiting for the whistle. They'll give the whistle, and Abuzed will get ready for the throw. Launches this one towards the 6, in front of the net. Headed on in front, Westwood will be able to clear this one out. Back towards Houlihan, able to keep this one in. And Westwood will now move it forward. They have men up in an opportunity. This one over to Alexander. He'll just pick this one up, and now it'll be a goal kick in his box with just over 17 minutes to go, plus stoppage time here in the 63rd minute. It's Jack O'Brien playing this one up, looking for the hat trick tonight and looking for 8 goals tonight for the Lancers. It'll be an Abu Zed throw. Substitutions coming on as Turcotte and Declan D still come on. For the Lancers, on the other side of things, Eamon Doherty and Shane O'Grady coming on for the Westwood Wolverines. As Abu Zed comes off, he'll relinquish the throw-in opportunity to Will O'Brien, who then gives it to Kyle Houlihan. So Houlihan will get the throw, trying to put the Lancers up 8-3. Throw on towards the box in front of the net. Eno looked for it for a second, couldn't get it. And now a foul on Turcotte, and they'll say it's a Westwood free kick. And now Will O'Brien getting a talking to from the official. And the Norton parents are none too happy with what transpired on the pitch here tonight. The refs hearing it from this Lancer crowd. Is this one in front of the net? Eno with his second of the night and an opportunity right in front of the net for Turcotte. Crossed it over beautifully, but couldn't get it in. O'Brien over to Will O'Brien, who then looks at it as it goes out of over the touchline as Christopher Capone will get the throw. Houlihan has this one about 40 yards out from net. Turcotte plays this one up. It's Jack O'Brien who has it. Plays it over to the outside of Declan Disto. Had a great opportunity all the way back in the first minute. As this one in front of the net, Alex Turcotte. 2 straight opportunities in front. This one's volleyed up and over the net and out of play. Alex Turcotte making big moves here. Trying to solidify maybe a starting spot for the next match as well. He's really shown what he's worth. Some great crosses just out of his reach. 65th minute, 7-3 the score. This one kicked out of play by Joshua Morrison-Dooch, and it'll be thrown for Turcotte and the Lancers. Throws it into Houlihan, lofts it on forward to the great volley in front of the net. Moving it was Declan D still. So he gives it away to Christopher Capone. This one to Kevin Lyons. Lyons will move it forward past the 50. Able to get it through. Passes it over to Eamon Doherty. And offside is called as the Wolverines in violation of Law 11.
Let's go, Norton. You're not done.
66th minute, Kyle Houlihan with a free kick. Boots this one on downfield towards the goal. A 7-3 contest here as the Lancers have had one heck of a scoring night here. Westwood averaging exactly 3 goals per game in their first 3 games this season, and they have 3 here tonight. Westwood plays it outside towards the top of the 18. From the far end. Looking to get something going here. Maybe spark a comeback. Though it is a little bit late. 67th minute. They still do have time. Try and come back in this one, or at least mount a comeback. Get the Lancers a little nervous. Chu passes this one forward. As Westwood takes this one up. Chips it on forward as Sullivan clears it back towards midfield. So the Lancers shuffled around this year with the TVL. Last year they were members of the TVL Large. This year part of the TVL Small with Norwood moving in for the 2018-19 season as Houlihan pushes this one back towards midfield. But with a win today, they would clinch. They would be tied for the most points in any of the TVL schools. Holliston at 9 and Medway with 9 as well. Both those teams sitting undefeated at 3-0-0 records. The Lancers last year won the TVL. and beat the small champion as well, Dover Sherborne, in a championship matchup, second to last game of the season. They were able to win that one by a score of 3-1, and maybe it was one of their best games all season long. But as they look to this year, they're going to have a tough test. Dover Sherborne, once again, very good. Medway, very good as well. The Lynch saw them on opening night and lost promptly 4-0. As this one in front inside the 18, the shot doesn't even get a shot off as it's blocked by the Lancers. Some good defense there. Westwood with an opportunity. Only 6 shots tonight. 4 of them have been on target. As this one over the touchline in the 68th minute. The Lancers holding a 4-goal advantage. And Romario Harrison will come on for the Lancers. And looking ahead on the schedule here for the Westwood Wolverines after tonight, they're off for the next week. They don't play until next Friday at Hopkinton, which they split the season series last year 1-1-0, each team scoring 4 goals. Each game 3-1 and 3-1. And the Lancers, after Barrington, they're going to have another tough test next week. 2 straight tough tests. We already talked about Barrington. Very, very good team. Will be a very tough out-of-state test for the Lancers. And the 21st next Friday, they'll be playing Dover Sherborne under the lights here at Robert Adams Field. We'll be there at LSN for some Friday night soccer. And substitutions here for the Westwood Wolverines. A very tough team in Dover Sherborne, who's sitting the season right now at 2-0-0. Sitting tied for second with the Lancers in the TVL Small. It's Westwood taking this one, playing this one on forward. It's Harrison taking this one up towards midfield. Streaks past midfield and they'll send it up. Sullivan running back to this one, plays it back to Alexander, who kicks this one forward. Harrison backheels this one on a fancy move to Turcotte. Eno already has a goal tonight. An opportunity for 2 straight assists. And back-to-back chances for the Lancers. And a free kick here with 10 minutes left in this one. 70th minute, the Lancers leading by 4. What has been an offensive explosion here in the first and second half. 5 goals in the first half, 2 in the second. As it'll be DJ Eno and Brian Sullivan taking the free kick. Eno had a free kick opportunity back in the 20th minute as this one wafted on over Turcotte with yet another opportunity. The kid's been in on a lot of Lancer offensive attacks here late, but hasn't been able to have anything show for it. And another tough call, another 50-50 call, not going the Lancers' way on the sideline. And Turcotte plays this one back towards the center of the field. As Westwood bringing this one forward. Looking to cross it over. Now having an opportunity. It's Michael Tieditz. Has a goal in the night, leaves it for a defender. And an ill-advised opportunity as Kyle Houlihan was standing right there ready for it. '72nd minute now. And if you're just joining us, well, you missed a lot. 10 goals combined scored tonight. It all started off with Derek Alexander. That's right, Derek Alexander, the keeper, converting a PK back in the 6th minute. A handball called inside the box for Westwood. A minute later, Michael Tieditz scores in the 7th off a PK, off of a Brian Sullivan foul. And a whistle here. It looks like Brian Gay holding the back of his head. It looks like it might be a yellow card for Mario Harrison. And it looks like it will be. Mario Harrison will get a booking in the 73rd minute. Looked like he might have knocked Brian Gay in the back of the head. And he'll pick up his first yellow of the night, first card of the game. And Harrison will go to the bench. So we are on the 73rd minute, 7-3 to score. And just to recap it all, Michael tonight scoring on a PK off of Brian Sullivan foul to tie it up at 1-1 in the 7th. And then 4 Lancer goals in a matter of 17 minutes. Jack O'Brien scoring in the 25th minute. He did it again off of an assist from his brother Will O'Brien in the 30th. Then it was Colton Hughes 5 minutes later, once again off an assist from Edward Abuzed. And then in the 40th minute in stoppage time, 2 minutes into stoppage time, Brian Sullivan got a goal with an assist by Romario Harrison to make the score 5-1. And then he hit halftime, and then the second half started, and the scoring did not stop there. DiGiano got a goal in the 58th minute. Alex Turcotte joined it 1 minute later to make it 7-1, and then 2 goals by Patrick Moylan and Kevin Lyons in both the 61st and 61st minute. Capped off a stretch within 4 minutes. There was 4 goals for the 4 goals combined in this game. Which, if you like offense, you have come to the right place in the right match. The Lancers up by 4 in this one here with a little over 6 minutes to go. Looks like they'll wrap this one off and go to 3-1 on the season. And the ref placing the ball here on a Lancer free kick. The Lancers will take the free kick here. In the late stages of this one, sun's starting to go down here at Robert Adams Field. And this one, a direct free kick from out deep. An interesting set piece. Both Sullivan and Andrew Dalton moved out of the way. DiGiano took a ripper from out deep. But it didn't work. Dalton pushes this one forward. Trying to get a run for DiGiano. Doesn't work. Kept up in the box. As that one goes out of play for a goal kick. And now substitutes coming on. It'll be Declan Diestel on for the Lancers. A substitute on for Westwood as well here in the late stage of this one. It'll be number 4, Patrick Moylan, who has one of the 3 goals tonight. Back in the 60th minute. Scored for Westwood. And now it's Kabinski. Been denied quite a few times tonight, but he's trying to make it work. Was denied in a fantastic shot by Danny Ventura back in the 43rd minute, right out of the half. The Lancers came out flying, but he just couldn't get it to work. This one, out from outside the 18. Inside the box, falling forward, is Eamon Doherty, who already has a goal on the season and looked to get his second, but instead fell short. This one, pushed inside the box. This one from outside the 18, stopped by Derek Alexander as he corrals it, and Westwood will move away from it. He'll try to waste some time here. Clock ticking down here in the 76th minute as he pushes this one on forward. Michael Tadites, the shot from out deep, misses once again. He's had quite the opportunities tonight, especially in the second half. Had one in the first half right in front of the net, proceeded to shoot it over the crossbar. Second half, same thing happened as well, except maybe even a little bit closer inside the penalty dot, and a big shot from out there, out deep, missing wide as well. Hasn't had a shot on target tonight, but has had 3 shots himself. As Alexander looks to waste some time here, the Lancers looking to be wrapping up a commanding 7-3 victory with a thumping of this Westwood Wolverine defense, which came in tonight only allowing 5 goals on the season in their first 3 games, which proceeded to allow 7 here tonight. And the Lancers, on the other hand, came in only scoring 4 on this season, but found their rhythm, found their moment, and that's how they've basically been at home these past few years. The home field for the Lancers, Robert Adams Field, has been a very, very kind place to them. They've always posted up great records. Away, they haven't been as good, but at home is really where they shine. Not sure if it's the field, just being comfortable at home, being one of the few teams with a grass field in the TVL, much less in the state of Massachusetts. Giving them that comfortability is this one right into the hands of Alexander, the 10th shot of the night for Westwood as they finally reach that double-digit mark. Here's we tick to the 78th minute. Alexander will kick this one on towards midfield. It'll be Michael tonight, sending this one back to Moylan, the captain, who sends it on forward. And coming up next, folks, reminder, the Lancer post-game report, LSN Extra Time coming up next. We'll interview Coach Green, ask him about what it was like today to be on that sideline and what was the Lancer plan of attack to this 7-3 thumping. And they basically just exploited that defensive front for Westwood all night long, constantly relentless with the shots on Daniel Ventura. As it's Westwood will bring this one forward. 79th minute now. This one down the field. Eamon Doherty coming after it. Brian Sullivan taking it away. Turned around. Looks to clear it back upfield. And he'll do it. This is all the makes of a commanding victory, and it has been. The Lancer offense has been in control all night long. And it started right from the top with Andrew Dalton almost scoring goal in the very first minute. Caught off sides in the 6-yard box. And once again, here comes Edward Abuzet. The big man coming in after Andrew Viglas left this Lancer program, who could do just the same thing as Edward Abuzet, but Abuzet might even be better at it. Abuzet throws this one on in from deep. Headed up straight in the air. Eno with the header in front. Doesn't work and is cleared out by Westwood. A great opportunity here late for the Lance trying to make it 8-1. They've had quite a few here this half, but they just haven't been able to convert. This one will go over the touchline here as we enter the 80th minute. The Lancers up by 4. And it'll be Clayton Bararin limping to the sidelines now as Connor Buckley subbed in for him. '80th minute of action once again. The Lancers up 7-3, holding on to a commanding lead. They'll see their record go to 3-1. Westwood will drop to 500 at 2-2. And a whistle here and maybe a card, as it's DJ Eno who's down on the ground. It'll be number 8, Michael Moylan, who will end up with the yellow card here in the 80th minute. So we've now entered stoppage time. His brother, Patrick Moylan, scored an earlier goal back in the 60th minute, just out the outstretched reach of Derek Alexander. But here we are in stoppage time, 81st minute. The Lancers scored a goal in stoppage time in the first half with Brian Sullivan. They'll try to do the same here in the second half and maybe make it 8-1. Pad that lead a little more as they head to the locker room. A reminder, folks, coming up next, LSN Extra Time will break down what's been a insanely fun game to watch at home. And the fans have been loving it as well. 7-3 Lancer victory as well as an interview. And it'll be taken down in the box. And they're going to call a penalty. Here in the 81st minute. And to take it will be Will O'Brien. His brother Jack already has 2 goals on the day. And we'll see what happens here. O'Brien, the shot outside and off the post and in. 8-1 now. The Lancers with 3 goals in the second half. And they are pouring it on. Eight to 3 the score now with the Lancers. It's been all offense for them tonight. Westwood will kick this one off here. Just a few moments away from the whistle. Ref looks at his watch once, and the Lancers wrap up what has been a commanding night, an 8-3 victory. And nothing will make Coach Eric Green happier than a defeat, just a manhandling of a team that came into this game looking very, very good. And maybe a tough opponent for the Lancers, but it's turned out to be quite the opposite. So we're here in the 83rd minute of action, 3 minutes into stoppage time. This one played on up the cross. High and away. The ref will look at his watch one more time. And they won't call it here. So we're about to enter the 4th minute of stoppage time here. 5 goals scored in the second half, 6 in the first. 11 in the game in total. Derek Alexander will kick it. Presumably it'll be the last play of the game. Puts it in the air, and the ref blows his whistle, and the Lancers go home with a commanding 8-3 victory. That saw 5 goals in the first half, 3 in the second, 2 on the night from Jack O'Brien. His brother Will getting into the action late in the second half. And the only action really in the second half for the Westwood Wolverines was Kevin Lyons and Patrick Moreland scoring in the 60 and 61st minute. LSN Extra Time coming up next. I'm Javik Blake. The Lancers moved to 3-1-0 in the season. The Westwood Wolverines dropped to 2-2-0. And the Lancers, with 9 points in the season, now tied for first place in the TVL Small. Final score here from Robert Adams Field with LSN Extra coming up next. 8-3 in favor of your Norton Lancers.
Hello, folks. Welcome to LSN Extra alongside Coach Green. Coach, an 8-goal outburst. First 3 games, you only scored 4, 8 tonight. What changed for you guys?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it is pretty surprising for a good reason. But, we've stayed really, really consistent. We've been struggling scoring goals. And, last game we only got 2 in, but we got a lot of shots. And I stayed consistent with them and say, as long as we're getting goal-scoring opportunities, the goals will eventually come. And I guess today they came.
And you guys had an opportunity right out of the gate in that very first minute, kept piling it on in the first half, and this score could very much be 10 or 11, if not for a few 50-50 calls that didn't go your way.
Absolutely, and I'm really proud of my boys, especially a couple of goals taken away from us, 2 or 3, a couple of missed calls and all that, but they maintained their composure, and they kept piling it on, and that's a really good sign of a team, so I'm really pleased with them.
And even with some of the younger kids, you had Andrew Kabinski in there, Jack O'Brien scoring 2 goals tonight. How is it seeing the freshmen or the younger freshman and sophomore kids making that big of an impact?
Yeah, and that's what we need. And we talked about that in preseason that, this is going to be a unique year where we're going to need the senior leadership, but also all these other players filling in and really doing their job. So we talked about we just have to wipe out how old they are and just treat everyone like they're a varsity player, and everyone just needs to go out there and do their part of the team.
Well, you have players like Edward Abuzet, who looks nothing like a sophomore out there.
I know. Edward's great, and his throw-ins are a really unique and special weapon, as you saw tonight. And again, he's a kid who will play forward for you, outside back for you. He knows his role on the team. And, yeah, he's really, really special.
And now moving on to your next game, you have a very tough week next week with Barrington and over Sherborne. How are you going to take the momentum from this game moving forward?
Yeah, just go right back in, check out the videos, see the things that brought us success today. And then just, really, really stay focused on improving every single game. Certainly us letting up 3 goals. We have a lot of work in the defense that we can do. And I hope these boys really take that momentum into the game next week.
All right, thank you so much, Coach. Best of luck against Barrington. We'll have more LSN Extra right after this, right here on LSN. Hello, folks. Welcome back to LSN Extra Time. I'm Javik Blake. A huge night for the Lancers. 8 different goals scored by 7 different players tonight to lead them to an 8-3 thumping of the Westwood Wolverines, which also saw 16 of the 19 shots make their mark on net. Eno scored in the 58th minute in the second half. Turcotte 1 minute later in the 59th. And Will O'Brien in the 80th minute +2 in stoppage time converted a penalty kick as well to give the Lancers that 8-3 advantage. Mario Harrison picking up the lone yellow card for the Lancers in the 73rd minute. And as they improve to 3-1-0. 3-1-0 in the TVL Small, which gets them tied for first place with now 9 points in their first 4 games of the season. Next up, they have Barrington out of conference and out of state as well. On September 19th, they won 1-0 last year, a game called in the 67th minute at home here at Robert N. Field due to lightning. But they're hoping to have mostly the same thing from this game. Carry it on forward, carry that momentum forward, as tonight you saw an offensive explosion that you haven't seen from that, most people haven't seen from the Lancers in quite some time here at home against a team other than Bellingham or Millis. On the other side of things for the Westwood Wolverines, they dropped to 2-2 on the year. They're now second in the TVL Large with 6 points. Patrick Moylan scored in the 60th minute, Kevin Lyons a minute later in the 61st, and the lone yellow card picked up by his brother, Michael Moylan, in the 80th minute as well. Next up, they'll entertain the Hopkinton Hillers in Hopkinton on the 24th next Friday, which they split the season series last year 1-1. They're hoping to get back on their feet after a crushing defeat today. Coming in, their goal differential was +4. They came out of it -1. The Lancers side of things, they had great opportunities, controlled possession most of the night, if not all of the night, including all of the momentum. They had a whole lot of opportunities. Alex Turcotte, you saw in the second half, multiple huge opportunities right in front of that box, right in the 6-yard box, which could have converted into a whole lot of goals for the Lancers. They just had a few more inches or a few more feet go towards their way. And on the other side of things, Derek Alexander, 3 saves tonight, allowing 3 goals as well. His shutout streak ended at 142 minutes in the 7th minute off of a penalty kick, but he kept up with the Lancers, kept them in the game. Their back line, which played so well tonight, really helped the Lancers create lots of opportunities in the offensive end, in which you've been saying this for the past couple of years with the Lancers in all sports, offense from defense, and the Lancers definitely created that tonight. And next up, they'll take it to Barrington and see if they can do the same thing and carry on that momentum forward, and this could be a jump start for the Point. They've been seen throughout the season, throughout Norton, they've been kind of talked about as a team that hasn't gotten it all together yet, hasn't put it all together yet. But tonight might have been the night, an 8-3 victory and a crushing of a team that looked coming into the game on the same par as the Norton Lancers, but the Lancers showed just how much better they are with an 8-3 victory. Next broadcast for us in LSN next Friday is the Lancers will be back in action facing the Dover Sherborne Raiders, a 6:30 kickoff right here on the Lancers Sports Network. I'll have the call, and thank you for watching, folks. This has been it for us here on LSN's Friday Night Afternoon Soccer. I'm Javik Blake. The Lancers winning this one, a crushing defeat of the Westwood Wolverines by a score of 8-3. We'll see you next Friday for our next broadcast right here on LSN.